excited to have my friend Andrew from Parade Deck. First of
Hey,
all, I am so excited that you're here. Thank you.
thank you. I'm humbled. I'm honored. So,
Oh my gosh. So before we get into this, to everybody who is joining our live show, and quite frankly, anybody who's watching, whether you're watching a live or the replay, please love, like, and share so we can get more eyeballs on my friend. Because when I tell you that personally, so now I'm going to embarrass you, Andrew. You're one of the most impactful people, impactful meaning the things that you do in your space to help folks like myself really make some changes in the way that we reach through social media, the community that you've built with content creators at Parade Deck, and we're going to dig into all that. But you are one of the most humblest, kindest leaders I have met in a very long time. And so I just want to make sure that I say that out front, that you just, for anyone who is looking for a business to work with, this is it right here. I mean, the level of support, the fact that you genuinely care about your community of creators and the platform that you have in place, and your heart is in it. So we're going to get deep into what is Parade Deck, what did you do, and why we all need to get involved.
there you go. Thank you so much. Such kind words. I'm sweating now. I'm sweating. Um, but I got so involved with your intro, I thought I was waiting for the movie to start, like the main show. Oh, it's us. But that was a good intro. I like that a lot.
Well, thank you.
So thank
Thank you.
you. But I will tell you, everything that I provide, I can't do it without people like you as well, that give it back, so,
Yeah.
part of, I guess, servant leadership, it is important to get some of that affirmation back. And,
Yes.
that's what we built Parade Deck initially, was that affirmation, that support. So you giving that back to me is amazing, and it keeps me going. So,
Oh, I
so
love that. So why don't you start by telling us what is Parade Deck and why did you start this thing? Now I know I'm benefiting from it
yeah.
and a lot of people are, but what is Parade Deck and how did you start this journey?
All right. So I'm still trying to articulate this. So it kind of changes daily. And you and I were on a LinkedIn audio, and
Yes.
you actually gave the value proposition. In fact, I looked it up yesterday because I needed 3 bullet points. And I was like, Shelly gave such amazing bullet points. And one of them was customer support or engagement. And I
Yes.
think, I listened to the CEO of DoorDash, the original founder of DoorDash. And one of the things that he said that he prioritized was that customer support. And so even if, so DoorDash isn't responsible for the quality of that food, but they made a commitment to their customers that if they had bad food or experience, they would reimburse them. And so anyway, customer support to me, it's always been important. I've been in the restaurant business, customer service business. And I think the one thing that we can control is how we treat other people. And so we do pride ourselves. I do have a small team, and we pride ourselves on trying to get back as fast as we can. And believe me, I'm walking around with my phone, and I'm one of the people that stop right in the middle of the street, responding back, because like, oh, I need to get back to him. But Parade Deck, to kind of give you the history of what the term means. So I'm former Marine Corps veteran. So the Parade Deck is where everything important takes place. So it's a big, for non-military people, it's a big parking lot. It's a really nice paved black asphalt parking lot. That's perfect. And it's sacred ground when you're in the Marine Corps. And you only step on it when something important is going to take place, like a graduation or a promotion or a parade. And so when I created Parade Deck, I didn't have the name, and I had that domain, and I've had it for a long time. And I thought that's so appropriate, where everything important takes place. And I'm like, that's so perfect. And so the reason I started it was that I was doing some Instagram lives. And every time I would go live, I would wonder, how do people even know I'm here? Like,
Yeah.
now, kind of a side note, this was before Instagram came out with their scheduler. So I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
So the month I started Parade Deck, they kicked out their scheduler. It was just kind of ironic. So I started the Parade Deck so I could selfishly promote myself, and I could turn it into kind of a TV guide. So if you wanted to know when I was going to go live on Instagram, you could go to the Parade Deck and actually look at my TV guide and be like, oh, he's going to be on at 7 o'clock. Click it and you can go. And you can get a reminder and all of our cool tools. So that's how it originally was created, was for Instagram specifically.
Okay.
And then it kind of evolved to kind of moving over to YouTube because of their API, and a lot of creators and influencers are using YouTube. And so we were able to pull in a lot of the content on behalf of the influencer, so you wouldn't have to do it. So if you were to go on paradedeck.com right now, go down to events, you'll see a lot of your episodes that are coming up. We pull that automatically for you. So right now, the Parade Deck is a community of influencers and creators that collaborate together as a community to help amplify our individual messages, but doing it as a community, as a whole. So if you look at our total number of followers and subscribers, we're coming up on 5 million. And that's just not Parade Deck.
Crazy.
I did not go out there and get all those people, right? But every time we bring on a creator, an influencer, a podcaster, they bring their community with them.
That's right.
And when they bring that community with them, what goes through my mind is that, oh, I can tell Kelly, I can tell Mario that, hey, can we promote Shelly tonight? And so now we have that exponential viralness of supporting each other. And so that's going to be phase 2. We're going to be starting to incorporate what that community collaboration looks like, both in getting people to give you a shout out in the basic terms, getting brands, getting advertisers, 5 million. There we go.
Yes.
It is amazing. And it grows. So it's kind of like you bring somebody on, and we don't have necessarily a qualification to be on Parade Deck. All we ask is, do you want to be part of our community? This isn't an I type platform. This is a we platform. And so we don't care if you have 1 subscriber or follower or you have 1 million. In fact, I kind of shy away from the bigger ones. But we do want them to come on board because they can help us amplify faster. And so that's how, to answer your question, that's how Parade Deck. So it's where basically everything important takes place. And Shelly, you're important. And that's why you're on the parade. And so anybody that comes on, that's why I'm so passionate about it. And I've turned 55 here coming this month. And I was thinking today that money and notoriety actually wasn't important to me anymore. And it was more of, I need to make a living, but how can I support other people? So it's interesting how we change, and how at one point in my life, I thought if I was not impacting millions of people at one time, like tonight, like what, there's 5 people watching, like, why am I on here? But I learned it's that one person. And you were telling me a story earlier. You were connected to somebody, and all of a sudden you had an in-person prayer group.
That's right. And Makisha's on here. So the dumping ground, by the way, Makisha, we're going to talk about you joining Parade Deck like tomorrow. But she's also one of those people who was pulled into that. And that's what I mean about the difference in the impact. And I as a user and a content creator, when I think about myself in relation to a lot of the other creators that you have, like these are folks like with hundreds of thousands of viewing hours and all of the things, okay? But what I never got was a feeling that my piddly 3,000 was less important than someone who had 1 million. And everyone in that community. So we have some events that are coming up in March that I definitely want to touch on. And so for those of y'all, I've dropped the link to Parade Deck in the chat. So please make sure you go on. And if you have any questions from a very happy client perspective, ping me on LinkedIn. Okay. I'm telling you because I know this. I'm telling you because I'm doing it. Okay. And what I really appreciate is the opportunities to scale, but also the opportunities to connect with other creators who are doing incredible things. So the March Madness that you have, there's the ultimate amazing 24-hour live stream. Y'all, I was gonna share my screen and show you the video, but just follow me on LinkedIn and or YouTube, and you'll see all of this stuff. But I want to touch on the March Madness because this is, again, one of those opportunities that I know I would never have had the opportunity if I wasn't involved in the Parade Deck community. It just wouldn't exist. So the opportunity to participate in something that is also benefiting nonprofits, supporting veterans, small business and large business owners, supporting veterans altogether. I'm personally not a veteran, but I serve that community. And so being able to have that seat at the table and share an experience with cumulative 5 million. Okay, I'm just gonna keep saying that. That is just not, that's not like, that is so unreal to me that I'm beyond humbled to even be included. So can you talk a little bit more about March Madness?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, one day that 5 million, it's gonna be 10 million here soon,
Yes.
And when they start engaging, that's when you're going to be like, oh my, I got chills just saying that. Like, that's when it's going to be like the aha part. Like, that's, right now we have them, but when we engage with them, when we have brands come to us and say, we want to work with your influencers. And I say, I got Shelly, I've got Mario, they align with your brand. Let's put you in front of them. That's when I think hopefully we start feeling that impact. So March Madness, I'm not even sure how I came up. I come up with ideas daily, and then I run them to the ground, and then I think like, why did I even come up with the idea? Actually, I don't even know how I came up with the idea. I just thought I need something big to kind of kick off the Parade Deck, because over the last month we've had a lot of momentum. We've had a lot of people join, a lot of people seek us out. I've had the opportunity to explain what the Parade Deck is to people and have them explain it back to me. That I think that's the more incredible. Like when you did the other day, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is such. And our friend Mario, he calls me up and CEO, founder of Parade Deck is the first thing out of his mouth, and he just goes on. And Mario's been just a huge supporter.
This is Mario Fields, and I'm a super fan, so I'm trying to keep it together.
He calls me. But yeah, he's amazing support. Just amazing. I will have to say, I mean, he's kept me going. Like, I think he's convinced me over and over again. That's why friends are important. That's why networking is important. And I'm going to tell you about March Madness, but really quickly, it's really about love, and that's all it is. It's just sharing that common love that we have for each other, or we should have for all humans, regardless of where they come from, what they've done, where they've been, what path they're on, how many followers, how many subscribers, because I treat everybody the same. You have 1 follower, you got 1 million. You're going to get the same attention from me. And I have to test myself with that, right?
Yeah.
Because I could easily be like, oh, 1 million, I could, set that person up and, make some money on that. But I have to every day remind myself that we're a community. So March Madness is our first annual 24-hour live stream. And so March Madness, obviously we have March Madness basketball, which I kind of, when I started saying, I'm like, there's something going on, NCAA. And then it's on St. Patrick's Day. I was like, oh my gosh. So I just walked away to display how powerful we are, and that we can actually get 24 amazing humans to come on and host an hour and showcase their specific message to 1 or 5 million, that show up to listen. And so that was it. And I will tell you, one person that was an immediate supporter was Corey from Stars and Stripes. And I met Corey again, back to how like these connections, like one person can literally change the trajectory, I say that right, of your life, of your business. And the scriptures say, I love this scripture and I'll get it wrong, but it says, be prepared for every opportunity.
Yes.
and you've got to be prepared. And I think I went from people saying how lucky I was and me wondering, is it just luck? And it's being prepared. It's being a prepared Christian
Yes.
where I come from. And so I guess I was prepared to meet Corey, and I met him a while back at a conference, and we just chit chat, had some coffee, and then didn't talk to each other for months. And then we reconnected on LinkedIn. I said something to him about Parade Deck, and then all of a sudden I'm at his office talking to him about it. And then all of a sudden they're like, we'll sponsor you guys. And so they sponsored us through promotion. So they said, we will put a video. So that video, if you go to theparadedeck.com, that link that's in there, that's running on Stars and Stripes website. And so,
y'all, this is that Stars and Stripes.
Yeah,
I mean, so you're glossing over it, but it's that Stars and Stripes, like the publication. They've been around for quite a long time, serving the global community and the veteran community. So, and again, I know a lot of folks who are families of, maybe you're a spouse of, maybe you're active or you're inactive members. You know what we're talking about. But for the rest of us who are not in that community, it's that Stars and Stripes. So let's not play it down.
Well, what got my attention? So the website's actually stripes.com. Stripes.com.
Yes.
So, and they have amazing content, a lot of content. But he sent me the analytics for the first 2 days that the video ran.
Yeah.
And I want to say there was over 160,000 views on the video.
What?
That was in 2 days. So they were very generous. And if they're listening, thank you, Stars and Stripes.
Wow.
For that. But we're building a relationship, we're building that where they can, see how we perform, I guess, but very appreciative of Corey. He always attends all of there. Corey's on there right now. So that Stars and Stripes, he says. So yeah, they when they send out publication, it goes out to all the veterans. I mean, it goes out to millions of people. So so very appreciative of that. But he was the first one actually to kind of know about the March Madness event. And I'm excited. I started to reach out to influencers. I reached out to you, Mario, Enrique, Tony Taylor, all the people that I know. Like, hey, pick a time, get a time, all the good times are going to be gone. And I think we only have 6 slots that are still available.
Wow.
And those slots are like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. So, but we have somebody over in Guam or in Okinawa. So we have a young lady. She's a fitness coach. She's got a lot of letters after her name. Her husband's a Marine. She works with me on my Instagram account and providing fitness support to candidates going to OCS, and she does a lot more than that. She's a runner. Courtney is her name. And I'm like, Courtney, please take a time, because you can take this like crazy hour, where it's daytime over there. And she did. And then we've got another gentleman from out in Arizona area who is taking 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock because it's a 3-hour difference right there. We've got Riley, who's the first lieutenant in the Marine Corps. She's the bobsled pilot of the U.S. bobsled team. And so, and she even has a competition the day after. And so, she's coming on, and she actually just won Miss Military. I think that was the title. She was crowned Miss Military. So, it was just on the other day. So, we have an amazing lineup. We have a descendant of Navajo code talkers. They're going to be on. We've got American warriors who put out amazing content. And that's one I'm trying a lot to help them out because their content is amazing, and they're not getting a lot of eyeballs, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing content. So we have them on, they're going to showcase what, behind the scenes, what it looks like to work with a World War II pilot, on this particular aircraft, and what it meant for them to do that, what it meant to interview a 3-star Marine Corps general, what it was like to interview a 95-year-old Navajo code talker, so we're going to really get behind the scenes on how they do that. So I'm really excited about that. But we have, obviously we're going to have 24. It's going to start 8 a.m. on the 17th.
Oh.
Corey's gonna have to switch back and forth. So
We're using March Madness and parade.
if
That's
somebody
all
doesn't
right, Corey.
show
We
up,
appreciate you.
well, Corey, what I didn't tell you is NCAA actually joined the parade deck, and we're going to be
What?
live. I'm kidding. We're going to live stream
Oh.
NCAA. Our numbers just went to 200 million.
Right, exactly. Explosion.
So, but we look for things like that. We have
Yeah.
Spondulic. I don't know if you're familiar with
Yes.
Spondulic. So
Yes.
they are actually our first broadcast partners. So we stream them live 24 hours a day on our live stream. So if you go to our homepage, you'll see a live stream pop in there. That's their broadcast. And then we replay other live events as they come up. In fact, this one may actually be on there right now live.
Yeah.
So we are looking for, more partners that have content that align with our brand that we can push out. And this is not just for military. Parade Deck is open to, obviously you're not military, but it's kind of my niche, so it's kind of the low hanging fruit. But you have questions, I was going to go into another topic, but so I'm excited for March Madness. So
I have to do my drop. Y'all need to come. So I'm hosting the lunch hour in a session called Ladies Who Lunch. I've invited some friends of mine, some girlfriends of mine, and we're gonna be talking about career resilience. We're gonna talk about our relationship with God, like everything that's encouraging, inspiring. We're bringing our lunch, bring your lunch, and we're just gonna have a fantastic time supporting Stars and Stripes and obviously Parade Deck. So make sure you show up. Go to every event you can, but y'all make sure you show up. Show up for my event. We are so grateful for honestly the support.
So actually,
there it is.
Yeah, it is live on the Parade Deck. So yeah.
Wow.
So we do that automatically. I don't want to get into the technical features, but we do that automatically. So our creators don't even have to do that.
I love that.
All you have to do is schedule it on YouTube, and we pick up on that. And so, we only have enough time in the day to talk about all the features. So right before we started, I sent out a mass text message to all of our creators, and I got it. And somebody immediately sent me a text back.
I got it.
I got a text, and I said, "Hey, Shelly is going to be on. Let's support her." And so that's just kind of one of the internal things that we do. To support each other is and we have to be consistent with it, and that's, if you're a social media influencer or, doing a podcast or whatever, it's about consistency, you know, and it's hard. Like this morning, I mean, we were up so early already messaging and I was like nonstop doing it, but I said, I have to do this. I have to do this. So.
Well, that's the passion behind what we're doing. And we're not influencing for the sake of getting tchotchkes, y'all. I think that what I can say about everyone who is within the Parade Deck family and community is that we are creating value. So information that we're sharing is creating value. It's making people's lives better. It's, spotlighting people who are doing incredible things, and we're just supporting each other. So, no shade to other platforms that are doing, whatever to sell tchotchkes, but that's not it. We're trying to make some real changes in our lives and in our community and things of that nature. So I definitely want to throw that part out. I wanted to ask a little bit. So another thing I wanted to share before we come off Parade Deck technicality. One of the other things that I like with Parade Deck is the opportunity for me to create webinars through Opus Live. So that's another, when you guys go on Parade Deck, also my books are on there. Listen, there's all kinds of amazing things. Like if someone asks where to reach me, I tell them, go find me on Parade Deck, because literally everything, every outlet, every way to reach me is in one spot. I don't have to try to remember LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Amazon, all of that, my website. I don't. I literally just send them, go to Parade Deck, here's the link, and everything that you need relating to me or my business is on the site.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that Mario, I'm going to pull up your account really quickly.
Yeah.
Because I want to show people what it looks like. Okay, So what, I'm going to talk about Mario because he's,
Yeah.
so when Mario is out on networking at events, he
Yes.
goes, he travels all over, does speaking engagements, and people say, how can we find you? I mean, that's the most common question. So every podcast, every interview ends with what?
Yeah.
How can I find you? All right. So now it's just fun. Every time I hear it, I just anticipate, are they going to say Parade Deck? Are they really going to
You're
say
right.
it? Like, it doesn't matter who it is. It could be some random podcast. I'm just waiting for them to say I'm on the Parade Deck. So he pulls out his profile. And like you said, this is a hub for that. And he pulls this right here and they scan the QR code. They go on here and then they follow. And once they follow, and then they can scroll down, they can see all his events. They can see his social media posts. It's where even if you had somebody that was looking to do advertising with you, you could say, go to the Parade Deck. You can see how many followers I have, how many subscribers I have, where I'm at. You can go to all my social media. And so somebody today actually said, is it like Linktree? And I'm like,
no.
I said,
no.
I mean, like it's a hub for like all these tabs. I said, but there's so many things and features behind the scenes that make it powerful that we can amplify that message out. So, what did you ask me? I've already lost.
Well, I was talking about the Parade Deck. Another thing I'm going to call out is for so creator to creator. I appreciate that I can go on there and see what other creators are doing because their videos are shown, the snapshots of what's coming. So I don't have to ping Mario. Quite frankly, I don't even have to go to his pages. I just go on Parade Deck and it's all stream is done automatic. I don't have to, unless I'm creating a special event. It's all of the information. Everything is made so simple. It's just less stress. And then I can just focus on building and creating quality content. I don't have to worry about how this thing is going to play itself out, streaming and etc. So those are all, like I said, for those of y'all who are interested in learning more, please reach out to Andrew, but you can also just ping me. I can talk to you for days because I just absolutely love the tool. I love the community. I love the way we are working together. And yes, for the Dumping Ground podcast, this is another business that Makisha, she interviews business owners globally. And so she's one of those content creators that would definitely benefit from joining Parade Deck to kind of.
All right. I want you to do this. So you probably didn't even know this existed. I'm going to tell you two things. One thing, we just launched a chat feature. So, we have the forum. So we have a community forum. You can now actually chat member to member.
What?
So I actually sent you a chat. You were the first person I sent a chat to. And so it's going to be something we have to get used to using, but you can go in there and you can go to any of the profiles and you can send them a chat. So I sent you a test chat, and we're going to be opening that up to the public. So in essence, people can come and leave you messages.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Back to them. And we also launched your personal blog space. So you're able to put a blog. Do we use that word anymore? Corey, what is the right word to use?
Corey, what's the word?
I mean, we say podcast, but so articles, blogs, but anyway, now we have this new news section, and each creator has their own news section. And so we just put that out 2 days ago.
Oh, wow.
But you have a referral code. So give that.
Yes.
And you get Parade Deck cash for doing that. So we have these virtual Parade Deck debit cards. And you get $5 automatically. And every time you refer someone that joins, you get $5 more. So,
oh my gosh.
And then at some point you can redeem that, at the Visa. You can use it wherever you want. So
I love it. I love it, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna pull back. Still reach out and I'll send you my referral code because I am going to get paid.
There you go.
Oh my
and if you're a nonprofit, it's free. So if you're
nonprofit, it's free. Yeah.
Just to point this out, if you're a nonprofit, pick the free plan. But you're gonna have to ping me and tell me. And then I'll upgrade you, to our pro plan. But you have to let me know. But just do the free, and then I'll upgrade you. So,
Wow, I'm dropping that in here. Nonprofit is free, but we
Nonprofit.
still support each other, right? So that's the other thing. By the way, shout out to every single creator that's on Parade Deck. You're welcome to come on the show. I have no shame.
There we go. I am enjoying this. I mean, it's like we're talking about
fun?
a different. I mean, like, I want to tell you
Digital.
this. It's a digital forum. That's tough. Digital forum.
That is, Corey. That word that's hard.
I'm more in the Chat GPT. If we have time at the end, I want to tell you about what I do with Chat GPT. Which
that might be a webinar that we can offer on Parade Deck. How about that?
Yeah, okay. Don't get me started.
That's a whole webinar that we're going to save that for a Parade Deck resource center, and we'll teach you how to use that. How about that? Y'all have to show up. Y'all have to show up, and we'll teach you how to use it. So now I want to ask you, as we're shifting a little bit back to community, because I am all in your business as it is. It is what it is. And again, I think, I absolutely respect the work that you do, but there is something different about the way that you handle your business. And I know that it comes from you as you mentioned Christian, but as a believer, as Corey dropped an affinity group. We're gonna have to play with these marketing words. Corey, we're gonna have to play with the marketing words.
So my Instagram is called Marine OCS Blog, and so I was talking to some young people the other day, and actually Corey told me this. It was the same day. They're like, blog so old school. You need to change.
Yeah, we got to change that.
Podcast. So I'm shifting. We're making some gradual updates. We have an original coming out. We actually have 10 episodes of original podcast for Parade Deck coming out. We're taping in March. I'm going to kind of keep it a secret, but it's gonna be amazing. I am excited for it. So
can I tell you that I dreamt about Parade Deck TV and that I was one of the hosts on there? I'm not kidding. I pinged you that this morning. Parade Deck TV. I don't know why I can't get it. Well, I know why I can't get it out of my head, but I literally was like, oh my gosh, Parade Deck TV, when you just have it's like a constant stream of lineup and amazing content.
Yeah.
Just saying, Corey, can you help us? Corey, can you make Parade Deck TV? So I want to find out a little bit more about what drives you, because so we've talked about the business, kind of your journey getting here. And what I do want people to take away, especially for those who might be thinking about, what their purpose is and what they want to do with their life. It's clear to me that you're operating within your purpose, right? And so that's why I think it's easier for you to give so much, because what you're receiving from it is fulfilling essentially what your purpose is. What do you think, or what do you attribute that to, and how did you come to know, like, yeah, this is this thing? Because you're literally helping so many people, and including people who you'll probably never meet in person, right? But you're literally changing the business model for a lot of us as creators. You're literally touching the lives of veterans overseas that you'll probably never meet by making sure they're getting this incredible information out. How did you get to that point where you're like, yeah, this is it?
Oh man. Well, not to get too personal with me, but I think when you've experienced the power of forgiveness, hopefully I can stay composed here. I kind of led, I've always had a good life. I was raised, my father was a United Methodist pastor. I was raised in the Methodist church. Didn't drink till I was 18, I soon had a good career in drinking, but I just couldn't keep it. And that was kind of a downfall of things that led to me needing forgiveness from people that I hurt deeply. And when I experienced that forgiveness, that genuine forgiveness, and it was not just, we forgive you. I had to earn it. I had to show up
Yeah.
and do the right thing, and I went to AA. I quit. I just came over 13 years of being sober. And
Wow.
yeah, I couldn't imagine going one day. I couldn't even imagine going well, I would say an hour, but oh, Parade Deck TV launching March 17th.
Thank you,
A
Corey.
day to live. But yeah, I just had, I crashed. I hit that bottom. And fortunately, I had people that love me, and even the person I hurt the most um stayed there by my side. But it took time, and it took me doing the right thing every second of the day, every hour, and then receiving that forgiveness. And I think it was at that moment that
Yeah.
I realized that there's more to life than just the last however many years I just went through. And there was nothing I would do to try to reverse that. I wouldn't want to go back and say, I wish I wouldn't have done this or that, because it would take away from where I am today. And
Yeah.
so I just continued to build my faith on that. And then I think because I did, I led by ego, back in the day, and vanity, and success was based on money, and my family was kind of money oriented. We didn't, I had a pastor as a father, but we still kind of focused on money. It was always a topic of conversation. And so it
Mhm.
was kind of a gauge, and I got really sick, of hearing about that money. And I was kind of the entrepreneur of the family. So I was always one doing crazy things, and people didn't understand me. And so, but anyway, I just started to build my faith. And I went from that ego and realizing what I said earlier, I didn't have to have this large audience to be important. And I started to work with people from all backgrounds. And I got into career development, and I started to help people take career assessments and help them build their resumes. And these are people from all walks of life, from addiction to criminal history to people that never had somebody say, I believe in you.
Wow.
And those words are so powerful, especially when they come from a place where you really mean it. I mean, when your
Oh
body
yeah.
is is putting off that aroma of God, of I really believe in you. And I had a young person ask me it was a couple years ago. I said, yeah, I believe in everybody. And he's like, what do you mean you believe in everybody? He's like, you believe they can, they're smart, or you believe they can do this or that? No, I was like, I believe in them as humans. I believe in them. And that's the core to it. It doesn't matter where they come from. I just got done helping a gentleman apply for a job that the salary range was 220,000 to 260,000. I've been working with him over the last week, doing career assessments, interview practice, resume building, and he just applied for the job today. Today he sent the resume.
Wow.
And the reason I bring that up is I didn't treat him any differently than I treated the person who committed a crime or had an addiction
Yeah.
or was homeless. I worked with a young lady in a halfway house, and I was doing a Bible study with them, and they were all just, just so depressed. And at the end of it, I said, who would like to go to college? Who would like to go to community college? And this Amber, she raised her hand. She's like, I would like to. And over the next 3 weeks, this is a true story, I knew the system so well with workforce development that she was enrolled with a computer, clothes, apartment, bus passes in 3 weeks. And we had pushback. So my point is, I learned that everybody is at the same level. It's about
Yeah.
identity. It's about helping someone find the evidence of their identity, who they are. And that's liberating. And so we call that faith, and we call that living that purpose. But it
That's
takes
right.
that person to care genuinely without receiving something in return. And so I don't know if that answers your question, but that's I think that's,
It
through
does.
that journey, it took, it was a 10-year journey but I finally realized it doesn't matter who you are. The common denominator is identity. That
That's
is the
true.
common, that's the default. You can either believe the status quo or you can decide to find out your identity, but you need someone to help you. And it wasn't my job to plant in them what their skills were. It was my job to walk with them. And when I work with somebody with a resume, I say, I want to know everything you've done. I don't care how small it was. Just list it. Just tell me what it is. And before long, you have this portfolio. And I'm just going to tell you one more story. I was working with a 50-year-old gentleman, and he'd been incarcerated for a number of years, long years. And we did his resume, and I worked with him for a long time. He was getting out, and we were standing in front of his supervisor, and she was giving him all this paperwork. And, like, you need this, you need this. And I handed him his resume, and it was on nice resume parchment paper. All right.
Wow.
Now, he had not seen the resume yet. We'd worked together, and he said, I have never seen myself like this before.
Oh my gosh.
But wait, there's more. So, we kind of get past the moment, and he teared up. I mean, we were all tearing up, but she starts giving more paperwork, and the resume gets buried a little bit. What does he do? He reaches in, and pulls it out and puts it on top, because he is somebody. He found his identity, and maybe it wasn't a big pivot, but it was a pivot. And I think Parade Deck is that pivot. If I can just convince you that I believe in you, if nobody else believes in you, I believe in you. And that's just it. You just have to believe. You just have to love. So
I love it. That is phenomenal witnessing. That I think is why that's why your business, I think that's why Parade Deck is on track to be very successful, because of the heart behind it. I think that's what it is. The formula to business, if y'all want to know how to build a successful business, you need to follow Parade Deck, because I think, and again, like I said, just this morning, I was like, of course there's a Parade Deck TV. I don't know when it's coming, but I said it, so it will.
There we go.
It is done. Like, that's how I operate. There will be so. So before we go, do you have any last minute pieces of advice or revelation, or anything that you want to share for folks who are watching, whether they're catching the replay, or anything that you want to leave with our audience?
There's so much I want to leave. We have to do more of these. We need to.
You got to come back.
I want to do these Parade Deck quicks where we get on and
yes.
And so I did this AI podcast, and it's me and an AI. We do it together, but they're short. They're like 6-8 minutes, and it's on a topic. And Mario is the biggest follower. He's like, when are you going to put out the next one? I put one out last night, actually. I stayed up all night practically doing it. But I had this revelation last night. Okay, so last night was kind of weird. And I'm going to get kind of deep here really quickly, but I'll pull back out.
That's all right. My folks can handle it.
Yeah. So I just got over having a really bad cold all weekend. And so yesterday was the first day I really felt good. I felt better. Kind of excited to go to bed and get some sleep. And I just felt like so in touch with God. I just felt so grounded. And I couldn't sleep. I could not sleep. And I don't think I got 2 hours of sleep last night. And I got back up and just started working, but I started to hear this statement. And I don't want to be one of those people that say God spoke to me, but I just, he did. Kind of had,
it's all right.
Had this, this message coming to me is like, what if you knew you had resurrection power? What if you knew for certain? Now, obviously we have it. Like if we're Christians, or whatever your faith, we have it. So it's kind of goes without saying, but let's just say that you really, really realized that you had resurrection power. And my mind was going to, I don't know if I can articulate it, but my mind was saying, who would be the first person I would call when I wake up? If I had that kind of power to change, to be involved and participate, what would I actually do? Have we really thought about it? And I know there's that whole, that kind of that cliche saying, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? And we kind of brush it off. But from a Christian perspective, we do have that power, and this natural we live in pulls away from it. Yeah. And so that was kind of my epiphany that I'm just stuck on, is we do in fact have that power. And if we do in fact have that power, why are we not doing what we say we would do if we did have that power? They're kind of a tongue twister.
Oh,
Who would we touch? What would we do? What risk would we take?
like, yes.
If somebody, if we could erase the worst thing we ever did that we wouldn't be embarrassed about, what would it change about that next day? What would we do differently? And so I'm challenging myself to start living that way. And I know you guys have heard that probably different ways, but it was the resurrection power that got me, because we do in fact have that power. And it's, my friend I was talking to you right before this, it's that faith, it's that purpose that God has called us to. And so I challenge, people who are listening to kind of think about however you want to think about it. If you could do anything and know you wouldn't fail, what would that be? But we've got to have the ability to follow through and engage with it. And it's being vulnerable. And there are things I don't like to do because I am vulnerable. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to feel shame. And so I shy away from certain things. I'm kind of more behind the scenes, which I like. But if we could wake up tomorrow morning, who would you call? I mean, who would you call? Like, if you had that power to change, I mean, would we go find a homeless person? We go find a rich person? What would we do if we had that if we realized and engaged in that ability? So anyway, I'll leave you with that.
That's powerful.
Yeah. I mean, I do believe that for everybody. That we do have that power, however you want to define it. And it may not look pretty, and it may be very ugly, but try it and just see what happens.
Wow, that is powerful. And of course, now my brain is on on spin cycle. Like, okay, I received that message for myself. I received that because I know for me personally, it has been about courage and pushing even myself beyond certain limitations that I've set. And my mom was a Methodist minister, so I get it. I know. Listen, so I get it. But my gosh, we have to have you come back. I definitely want to have you come back after we've gone through March Madness and we, moving into April to see what else is coming down the pike, and seriously open platform for any of our Parade Deck content creators. Come on in here and talk about what you're doing, and let's talk more about some of the benefits that we're all reaping from the work that Andrew and his team is doing. We do need to support Parade Deck much more. Corey, we are glad if you're still watching. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing, supporting the March 17th March Madness event. And for everyone who's watched the live, we run across multiple platforms, and sometimes I can't see all the numbers. It doesn't matter. For those of y'all who are watching the replay, if you have comments, please drop them. I do follow up, so if you need something, ping me. Again, I don't mind telling you about Parade Deck all day long. So just reach out if you're a creator with one or you're a creator with a million. Just reach out and I'll get you introduced to the team. And Andrew, my soul is full. I'm so honored and humbled, and I'm so grateful for you and all the weekends that you put in, and you were working with me to get my account set up, the nights, the mornings, the lunches that you missed, the testing, all of that stuff. It doesn't go unnoticed. So I really appreciate all of that, everything that you're doing. And yes, I'll be on Parade Deck TV. I'll be your Oprah.
I will tell you, I had a phone call actually from a venture capitalist today. There we go. Very unexpected.
Listen, I'm just telling you, I know what I'm saying. Y'all play if you want. Come back on Thursday morning and you'll see what I'm
saying. But we got to be grounded. We got to keep our focus.
Yes.
But I do love talking about branding. I love talking about how you can engage in multiple channels and the things that you need to do to get that search engine optimization. Those are some of the core things that I'm kind of on you about. Like, let's get you on Spotify. People can listen to this. They don't have to see see us. Those are simple things. Or simple things that we can do to build your distribution. And does it take some work? Yeah, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you,
Yeah. That's a
Shelly.
great point.
I'm honored to have been on here tonight. Thank you for letting me kind of give a testimonial. And
Oh
so,
yeah, and I know it was definitely for me, but it's also for other people who watch. And I do have a lot of people watch the replay, and I'm pretty sure that word is for somebody that I know. So receive the word, y'all. You know, we appreciate it. So we'll tell these folks bye, and then we'll hang out in our back room with
all right.
Beyonce and Jay-Z. Just
Oh,
kidding. There is.
thanks everybody for joining.
Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next week. Deuces.